Now it's time to ruffle some feathers. Because that's what I'm here for. I am a straight shooter. I tell it like it is. I see it, I speak on it. I'm here to be disagreed with. I've said that since, man, I don't even remember how old I was when I first said that. I might have been 25. I'm here to be disagreed with. I want to be disagreed with. Because when you disagree with me, then I get the opportunity to flex my thoughts and really dig into what I believe and share it with you. And now we have a dialogue. So I'm here to be disagreed with. So I want to start off by saying, in our current state of affairs, you have old white men telling young black men how they should go about fixing their problems. There's nothing more insulting than hearing an old white man who, at the very core of himself, does not want change to save his life. He does not want change. An old white man will say things like, why can't we keep doing it like we've always done it, and we got things done in the days of the greatest generation when blah 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 blah. Because this isn't the days of the great generation, old white man. You have to now do things differently. We live in a different marketplace. There are different people in charge. There are new rules that no longer apply to you. But what you have is a surgence, I'm not gonna say a resurgence, a surgence of young black people in general, young brown people, but let's stick with the illustration. Young black people who have ideas and they have credentials and they have education and they have innovations and they have a mind of the entrepreneurial spirit and they have a sense of community. It's an awakening of that. And the way that we go about demonstrating those things is trying to be dictated by old white men who have done everything historically, I want to use the word historically, to stifle that. And there's nothing more insulting than an old white man telling a young black man how they should live their lives. Because an old white man has never lived the life of a young black man. And contra-wise, a young black man has never lived the life of an old white man, but we've observed you long enough to know that the way that you want to do things no longer plays in this field that we sit on today. My second observation is you've got old white men telling young white women how they should woman. I know tons of young white women, only because by dint of where I live and my experiences along the way, I've come across a lot of young white women. And by young, I mean ones my age and younger. I'm 40. And they're tired of being told how they should woman. And the thing about it is, nobody should tell a woman how to woman. Based solely on the fact they've been told how to woman since the very beginning. Since they were excluded from voting. Since they had to be included in the workplace in the days of the Great Wars. And I only use the words of the days of the Great Wars because that's the only thing I can think of to describe that time period. It's not that I thought war was great or even there was anything great about those wars. But since those days, women have been marginalized, moved about like chess pieces, told where they can go, told what they can do, told how they can think, how they should think. And then there's magazines, and then there's mainstream media, and all those things that are like, hey, woman, this is how you woman. But the fact of the matter is, if you look behind the scenes of a lot of mainstream media, it's run by old white men who don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't have beef with old white men. I'm just letting you know, when I say old white men, I know who's in charge. I know who's pulling the strings. I understand the puppet master. So when I say these things, it's not even racial. It's how the system is set up. Let's go back to the Constitution when it was written. Old white men. It wasn't no 20-year-old white men getting together going, hey, I have new ideas. It was old white men going, hey, how do we keep this thing the way we've always had it so we can continue to benefit? That's how the system works. It's an understood thing. There's no lies in what I'm saying if you look behind the scenes. Check a boardroom. Check a head of companies when you get an opportunity. Google people who are in charge of things. 9 times out of 10, old white men. So before you get your undies in a bunch, understand that when I say old white men, what I'm saying. Now,